What's up, everybody? Welcome to Tuck Rule Takes, episode 112. Gang's all here. Big Al, Liam, I'm Mike. A little bit of a better mood than last week because guys, the Patriots won a fucking game. Holy shit!
Fucking miracle. Honestly,
Even a
I was
broken
as
clock
stunned
is
as
right.
anyone. Yeah.
God damn.
Holy shit. And not only that, like, we put some points on the board. We scored over 20 points, which was the last
it was
time
only
we did that.
it was only one more than 20, but still, we're in the right
But
direction.
over 20? I mean, can you guys answer when was the last time we scored 20 points?
I can't even remember. That's how it's like early on in the year, probably like the first or second week.
No, you know what's funny? I think it's the first week because I'm going through all the games right now. The Dolphins, they scored 17. The Jets, they scored 15.
Mm-hmm.
And sorry, I'm not trying to bring the damper. I'm like, wow.
I know, that's why I asked.
That's the second time they've scored 20 plus points this year.
Mike, do you have an answer?
No, it was probably the Eagles game, I would say.
It was.
That's probably the last time, right? Yeah.
How about this? You're both wrong. It was the game I was at. It was the Bills game. We scored 29.
Oh, that's right.
That's our
right.
season high,
yeah.
29.
Oh, yeah, dude.
That's our season
what a
high of 29.
Crazy grouping of wins. The Jets, the Bills, and the Steelers. Like,
yep.
It's just no matter how bad the Patriots are, it's like,
and the Chiefs next week.
One. Dude, I don't know. We'll talk about that. I don't know. The curse of Taylor Swift might be fucking us with that one. But
I don't know if there's a curse of Taylor Swift. It worked against the Chiefs this past week. Holy hell!
It did. Yeah, it did. And yeah, I figured. You know what? Since you brought it up, did you guys? So you guys saw. We'll get to the Patriots in a second.
I watched that whole game. I wanted Buffalo's
the whole offsides thing that everybody's freaking out about.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Listen, I get it. Like, I get being upset because it's one of those things where it's like, oh, it's only been called 11 times this year, which is, like quadrupled more times than it has been
from
the last
5
few years.
last year and 2 the year before that.
Yeah, but it's just one of those things where this is what the league is going to kind of hone in on more. And like, regardless, and I think it was Dean Blandino, someone, some like ex-ref was talking, and they were like, we're told to be a little bit more lenient, like around the line of scrimmage, but when it's so egregious, you have to call it. And the dude was like, because I see people saying like, oh, well, his foot is kind of lined up with the ball. No. That's not where wide receivers can line up. Do you ever wonder why you see a center and everybody else around him is kind of behind him? Because you have to line up at his hip. Yeah. His hip or back. The ball to the hip, that's the neutral zone, people. You can't.
There was really no arguing Tony's position. He lined up next to the safety. Like, he was offsides.
Dude. Oh my God. You could see. And then the crazy part was they were showing what's his name? The right tackle that was lined up behind the line. So like there were 2 infractions on that one. It's like,
because that would be an illegal formation. So they're like, either way, it's
you can't
back.
do that. I saw something where it was like, it showed like that down the line view, and it circled Tony and then the right tackle. And it was like just 2 guys lined up on the line of scrimmage. That's all. Like no one, just crazy. And to see the Chiefs freak out about it and Patrick Mahomes, whine like a little baby. Listen,
completely changed my opinion of Patrick Mahomes.
If you want to be upset on the sidelines, like that's one thing. Like, it is what it is, heat of the game. But
we're Pats fans. We saw Tom Brady lesbian out on the sidelines a bunch of times.
It happens, man. You turn to a Karen for a second, but like he's out there, and then like in the press conference, you took away a Hall of Fame play from a Hall of Fame player, and then like the balls for him to go up to Josh Allen. When they're shaking hands,
that call was fucking bullshit, man. It was absolute bullshit.
Yeah, that's so good.
Dude,
holy shit.
What do you want Josh Allen to say? You have made Josh Allen's life a living hell.
Yeah,
what do you think he's going to say in that case? Like, yeah, dude, that's it's crazy, man.
Like, we got away with that one. Fuck you. Like, what is he supposed to say? Like,
I don't know.
I would have been like, take this out.
That was one of the few times where I like saw Josh Allen and I was like on his side. I was like, dude, I would have done the same thing he did. Just like pat him on the chest
rock
and give
this
him
guy in the face. I want Josh Allen to wind back, get him with that QB arm.
Dude, that was the thing that upsets me about that, or like worries me the most though, is that the Chiefs are going to be pissed off now and they're going to be coming to New England and they're just going to skull fuck. They're going to scalp the Patriots.
Al, what are you drinking over there? Is that an old fashioned that you're sipping on?
Apple cider, isn't it?
Straight up apple cider.
Yep. Yep. It's a school night, Liam. It's a school night.
Oh, you're right. It is.
Come
Yeah,
on.
I got to
That
deal
would
with.
be irresponsible for you to sculpt young minds hungover.
Listen, I have to sculpt young minds tomorrow, and then in the afternoon, I have to deal with
I keep
adult
thinking you guys are saying
minds.
scalp.
Adult minds would probably be the worst of the bunch.
Well, it's PT conferences. That's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that was
So you
always
have
a
to tell
nightmare.
all these parents about how their kids are irresponsible little shits.
Some of them.
Dude, parent teacher conferences were the worst because your teachers would go or your parents would go and you'd be sitting at home and you're like, this is hell. Like your parents would show up and you're kind of like, all right, let me see how aggressively they open the door, how aggressively they shut their door. Let's see how bad this went.
Yeah.
And they come in like, hey,
let's read the
so
room.
take a seat. What the fuck, dude? Like,
Why are you throwing pencils in science class again?
Yeah.
Dude, my thing was always the same. It was like, what? Michael, your teachers say the same thing. You're smart, but you don't do your homework. What do we need to do to get you to do your homework? I don't know, Mom.
You don't apply yourself.
Oh yeah, that's the thing, right? I feel Al not so much, but I feel like Liam and I are big. We didn't apply ourselves.
No,
in
no,
school.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then Al was just like,
Al was the guy, guys. Excuse me, teacher, didn't you give out homework last night?
I was not that bad. I was not that bad.
Those people were the worst. Those kids, you look at me, you shut the fuck up, Billy.
Those are the people that you put in the locker after class. Yeah, Al's parents never came back mad from a parent-teacher conference.
Dude, Al's parents came home with gifts for him. They were like, hey,
my glorious
big
son.
A, big straight A. How's it going?
So Mrs. Scott said that you are doing really well and that you're participating. So here's $200. Have fun.
Oh my god! And then it was like, but excuse me, honey, we are worried. Is that a B plus in science?
It's not a chance.
I don't know about that. So
Al's
no
old
AOL,
report card.
no AOL for 2 weeks.
Al's old report card looks like him trying to say his name with a stutter. Alan.
You guys give me way too much credit.
Oh my god, dude!
Way
Report cards, one thing. Progress reports were the worst because honestly, you can't check on my progress mid.
Yeah.
If I'm baking a cake, you can't check the progress halfway through.
No,
you gotta check it at the end.
I'm in it for the comeback story, baby. I want to see how bad I can
My
tag
story
before
arc.
I can bring it
Listen,
back. Yeah, exactly.
The best part about being on the opposite side now is all I have to do is punch in a number code. Boom, shows up right on the kid's report card. Participates in class, 75, boom, just put 75, 106, boom, done, next. And it just keeps going and going. Nice. It's so quick. It's
I bet
easy.
it was so tedious back in the day for teachers.
Oh, yeah, it probably was.
Yeah, dude.
Computers have changed.
The teachers were pissed. They're trying to do things, and I'm sitting there fucking causing a ruckus and everything, like all that shit.
Just shitting in your hand and throwing it around.
Teachers just get pissed nowadays because you have the kids that are like, ugh, we have to do 3 problems of math for homework. Listen, when we were in school, we were doing 25 to 30 problems. I don't want to hear it. Shut up.
Dude, I fucking hated homework. I would get home and I'm just like, I had just discovered my penis at that point. So I was like, there are so many things I would rather be doing myself.
I'm going to go take a shower.
Like, oh my God. And then the next day in school, it's always like the teacher comes by, they're like, oh, your homework. And you do the thing where you look in your bag. I swear it was here. Like, oh my God, hold on. It's in my other folder. Oh, well, Michael, this is the 3rd time this week. I find it hard to believe you keep forgetting your folder. Like, come on. Oh, God. Yeah, I hated school. I don't even want it. It makes me so sorry. It makes me so angry. But okay, but yeah, we're all here. So that was just a quick little Chiefs talk, a little bit of school talk. Patriots won 21-18. Bailey Zappi. Actually decent game. 19 of 28, 240, 3 touchdowns and a pick. I mean, like kind of no one really crazy. This is actually a bad game for Liam because Zeke went 22 for 68 and Juju had 4 for 90. So a rough week for Liam. But guys, opening thoughts before I want to pose the main question of this win, but just kind of opening thoughts on the win in the game overall.
Al, what do you got?
It was nice to see a win. And it was nice to see a win coming off of a short week. And it's always nice to beat Pittsburgh because people were like, oh, Pittsburgh's looking like a playoff contender. They are the fakest 7-6 or whatever they are team now.
7-6 now, yeah.
Yeah, they're just so fake. Like they don't have a quarterback now that Kenny Pickens is hurt. George Pickens is arguing about everything. And it's like, what
Yeah,
do they
he's
have?
Dude, their wide
useless.
receivers are divas, like the definition.
I know.
I know.
Imagine being a second-year player and being like, "I'm so good, I don't need to block. I'm just gonna throw a
Dude.
fit on the sideline." Like, dude, you're a second-year guy. Why don't you shut the fuck up?
Horrible. Horrible. But yeah, no, good win. Liam, I'm sure you probably feel the same, right? Good. I mean, just nice to get
Oh
a
yeah,
win.
yeah.
Finally.
It was nice to get a win. I'm glad you just kind of glossed over the Zeke and Juju stuff, so I don't actually have to bear
No,
the
no, because
sad
honestly,
fruits of
numbers
my
are nothing.
labor.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
they're not. They're still both of them shit. But it was tough to watch this game, seeing them play well, I guess.
For the first
Competent.
half. For the first
Yeah,
half.
yeah. I mean, the entire team for the first half. But overall, just so not expected. Like, why haven't
No.
we been playing like this all year? And that's one of the things I'll never understand about football, where it's like the offensive line hasn't changed. No one got
Mhm.
healthy and came back to the lineup. You know, we didn't get anyone new in our wide receiver core. Like, nothing has changed.
Nope.
Bailey Zappi has been playing quarterback a handful of times this season and has never produced. What was it about this game that worked? Did the players buy in? Was there a better game plan? And how were we completely inept for, 80% of the season so far? And we go into this game and we look like a fucking football team. We can
Yeah.
run, we can pass. I'm like, we're
You look like
blocking. I'm
you
like,
we should be in the mix for that, like
yeah.
the last two seeds, right?
And
Based on
I'm
this
Mhm.
game.
just speechless. Like, we've seen what Bailey Zappi had to offer, and we weren't impressed. And he goes out in this game and plays well. I think a huge part of it is the surrounding cast played very well, but he also was
Yeah.
great. We'll talk about him later. But football is
Crazy.
just such a mind-bending game where I'm like, where was this? Why hasn't this been here since week 2? Like,
Mm-mm.
what the fuck is going on right now with each play on that first drive? I'm like, fumble. I'm waiting for it.
Something.
Interception. I'm
Something.
waiting for it. Yep. An
Where's
asteroid
the bag
comes
gonna
out of
happen?
space and kills
Yep.
the entire offense. Like, something is going to happen. And then we score. And then we score again. And we
Dude,
score
it
again.
was nuts.
It's completely unfathomable to me. I don't get the inconsistencies of the sport. Because, in fact, we've been consistently terrible. And now we just like all of a sudden look like a very good passing team. And dudes who couldn't catch the ball the last 5 weeks are catching it in double coverage 50 yards downfield. Tyquan Thornton's making plays when last week he couldn't catch a handoff. And Juju is even worse, and he's making plays.
Big
I'm
plays.
yeah,
Like,
I'm
holy shit
completely
plays.
speechless. Yeah, and that's
Mhm.
why football's so fun. That's why we can get on here and talk about it each week because it's always something crazy. There's always going to be some baffling thing that needs to be
Mhm.
talked about because it doesn't make sense. There's nothing about this that made sense, and it was fun to watch.
No,
Didn't
nothing.
expect this
Now
in a million
that
years.
that pose and this actually, I'll before I get to kind of like the main takeaway from this game. Do you think, because there's really one main thing that has changed going into this game? Bailey Zappi was officially named the starter, and it wasn't Mac Jones. So do you think, like, I don't think that Mac Jones was holding this offense down to this extent, but I get like it's tough to go against, the proof is what we saw. I think that the change at quarterback, it gave them a little jolt. I don't think it's going to last. Their upcoming schedule is not easy. But just I think that it just gave them a jolt here. And I don't know if the players played harder or if they bought in more, kind of like you mentioned. I don't know if you can really put a finger on it. I think it's just like the perfect storm of like everybody kind of came together. And I don't know. I don't want to say that it's all Mac Jones's fault why the offense hadn't been playing well, but like it's tough when you see these types of. I think we can all agree, like for sure, Mac Jones is done in New England, but like just seeing games like this, it's like it's tough not to
Yeah,
sit there and look at it and be like, was Mac Jones actually like the main problem?
it's too short sighted though, and I'll pass this to
Mhm.
Al after I pose this. Like, Bailey Zappi was named the starter for the last game against the Chargers before the game started. It was pretty definitive. You know, I think it was a day or two. So like it was up in the air for most of the practice week, but a day or two beforehand they named Zappi the starter, and that was one of the most excruciating games I've ever watched in my life. And then we go from an excruciatingly terrible game to this one. He was the starter in both games. I get it. New is always better. That's probably why there's so much divorce in this country. But like, I don't think that's the reason for the spring in performance here. Ow, we just watched a 6-0 loss last week,
I
and
know.
then he comes in and throws 3 touchdowns. Please, teacher, teach me.
Yeah,
How does
teach
this
us,
fucking make
please.
sense?
What happened, dude? What
Yeah.
happened?
Get down into the math here.
Well, if you let's see, we're doing positive negative numbers. So if you take the positive,
We're doing a
things,
lot
the
of negative numbers with a few
A lot of
positive
negatives.
numbers.
Yeah, a lot of double negatives.
Yeah, we
A
got some double
lot of
negatives in
bad
there.
things.
Well, if you take the numbers and
Yeah.
you do it like this,
There it is.
No.
There it is. That's the homework voice. That's the teacher, homework. That's the voice.
Yeah.
no, but in this game, they looked like they were prepared. Bailey
Yeah.
Zappi actually looked confident. And honestly, I'm gonna be a
Yes.
little bit negative here. That second touchdown pass to Hunter Henry, if the Steelers corner times that so much better, that's a pick. Or it's batted away. But the touch was nice from Bailey Zappi to get it to Hunter Henry. Like it ended up being a good throw, obviously, because it was a touchdown. It was a seed.
Fucking awesome throw.
But again, what did they do in the first half? They took shots down the field. They were moving the ball. They were running the ball well. Everything that we were hoping they would do from week 1 onward is what they did against the Steelers on Thursday night. But again, what has been the problem with this offense? Liam, you said it earlier in the episode. Consistently inconsistent. That's what I say about the Red Sox most of the time. But now I'm going to relate to the Patriots. Consistently inconsistent. They cannot keep it up for 4 quarters. And it showed in the second half. They almost blew the game against the Steelers. But granted, they got the win,
they
which
were,
was great.
Dude. I thought they were blowing out. I was like, shit, man, nothing's changed.
Of course
I figured they just realized at halftime, they're like, oh, we might lose the second overall pick. Bailey, just start dirting them.
Yep, start throwing picks. By the way, did you guys see, Mike, I'm sure you saw this because you're on X a lot. Liam, I don't know if you saw this, but when the Patriots win and they're let inside the locker room and you got Bailey Zappi going nuts with Billy O, and then 2 seconds later, he just goes up to Belichick and he's like, firm win, sir, firm win. Good job.
Dude, it was weird because like he daps up Bill O'Brien and he turns and it's almost like he saw like
a ghost, literally.
Like a monster. He turned, he was like, oh, and then he kind of like pointed and like shuffled this fucking way over there, was like, yes, sir. And, yes, thank you. Yes, sir. Yes, good, good homework, good. And then like went away.
It's like at the end of the movie when the serial killer has been chasing the main character the entire movie. The main character opens his front door to walk into his house, and the serial killer's right there, and the main character's
That's exactly how it
time.
was. It was almost like the end of The Departed when fucking Matt Damon comes home and sees Mark Wahlberg standing there.
Yeah.
And he's just like, listen. Except in this case, Belichick dapped him up. Like it was, very weird. I saw that. I was like, that's why. And I saw some people being like, look how pumped Zappy is with O'Brien. Then he sees Belichick. It's like, no, it's a respect thing. Like Belichick is like a fucking Jedi Sith Lord mix. Like everybody holds him at this like godlike thing that like just players when they see him, it's like, oh shit. And I saw that. That was funny though. That was hilarious. Zappy like, oh.
It was.
But so the Patriots win, and I guess like the main thing coming out of it, and I saw more people than I thought that I would see were kind of upset that the Patriots won. And I mean, first and foremost, I think I mentioned a couple episodes ago or last episode or something where like, sure, you want to get a high pick, but the team also still needs to win because you need the locker room to stay together. You need the fan base to stick with the team. Like you still need success in this sea of bullshit this year. And honestly, I have the Panthers, Cardinals, and Washington Commanders schedules pulled up. We'll go through them too. I still don't see how this significantly hurts the Patriots stock to get the second pick, to get the second draft pick. I don't know, but like, how did you guys see any of that? Or like, did you guys even have any sort of hesitancy like about the win at all when it comes to like draft pick position and all that stuff?
I'm not going to lie, a little bit at first. a little bit. But then when I found out the strength of schedule is in favor of the Patriots, and that's why they're still at 2 and not 3, I was like, okay, fine, afford the win. But now it's like, okay, you got Kansas City coming to town. You have Denver on Christmas Eve. You have the Bills on New Year's Eve, and then you have the Jets. Realistically, you're probably going to lose at least 2 of those games, if not 3 of them, I think. So then it's like, okay, if you're 4-13, maybe you're 5-12. At the absolute worst, you should be in the 5 slot. And even the 5 slot might be out of reach for a Caleb Williams or a Drake May. And maybe
Probably
you have to
definitely
try
out
to.
for Caleb Williams. Although you seeing all this stuff about how no one has officially declared for the draft yet. Like Marvin Harrison's up in the air.
Drake May declared.
just
Yeah, he's
did.
the only
Like,
he's
yeah,
the only
it's,
one.
It's
But
crazy.
like I don't give a
yeah.
fuck about Drake May. He's the one I care about the least. Like everyone else is still up in the air.
Yeah, it's crazy. I don't know why everybody's waiting, but yeah, like you said, I mean, the Chiefs, like, I mean, we'll touch on the Chiefs game before we get out of here at the end, but like, I don't see them winning that. The Broncos, honestly, I probably lose that. They'll lose to the Bills. They already beat the Bills this year, so the Bills are going to come out. They actually have something to play for. Patriots, not so much. And I mean, still, the one win on the schedule I see is the Jets, no matter what.
Oh, 100%.
And
I don't care
I
how well
literally
Zach Wilson
do
played
not
last week.
care. I do not care if this drops you from 2nd to 4th. I don't give a shit. You beat the Jets.
Beat the Jets.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, just to tell you guys too. So like, we just went over the Patriots schedule. The Panthers, I don't think the Panthers are going to win another game. They play the Falcons, the Packers, the Jags, and the Bucks. Those look like 4. Like the Panthers are just not good.
Bears are getting number 1. We can throw that in.
Yeah, I don't see that. And then the Cardinals schedule. I got theirs pulled up as well. Hold on. Where the fuck did it go?
I still think they're competitive. I think the Cardinals are going to win some games, baby.
I mean,
Hope
they
they do.
might, but I don't. Well, here, hold on. I'll pull up the Washington Commanders one, then I'll do the Cardinals one. So the Commanders, who are, and I didn't pull up the Bears, by the way, because the Bears are 2 games ahead of you. They have 2 more wins. I think the Bears are a competitive enough team where they could win. So the Commanders are playing the Rams. That's a loss. The Jets up in the air. The 49ers, that's a loss. The Cowboys, that's a loss. So, I mean, they might have like 1 win in there as well. They might beat I don't know. They might beat the Cowboys if the Cowboys kind of rest people. I don't know. But you know, the Commanders have the 1 there, and then the Cardinals, man, I can't fucking, it's not pulling up the goddamn Cardinal schedule. I'm just kidding. I got it here. Okay. So the Cardinals are playing, how many weeks are left? So they're playing the Niners. I mean, lost. The Bears, they'll probably beat the Bears. Or maybe, I don't know. Either way, I think no matter who wins or loses that game, it kind of helps you because the Bears are still close enough, I guess, but whatever.
They're getting the first
the Eagles
picks.
probably beat the Eagles, and then the Seahawks, who knows? You might beat the Seahawks at the end there. But all I'm saying is that if everything holds true at the end of the year, if all these teams have like one more win in them, the Patriots are going to get the second pick. So like, let's not like and honestly, what is the big difference between 2nd and 3rd there? You know, because you don't know what the Bears are going to do. If the Bears take Marvin Harrison Jr., you're going to get one of the top quarterbacks in the draft. You just are. If the Bears take a quarterback,
think a wide receiver is going to be the first overall pick?
Yes,
I think
because they're not going to take the quarterback.
Yeah, see, I don't know. I think that might be it. But if they do take a quarterback and you're the 2nd slot in the draft, you're going to take Marvin Harrison Jr. But even if you're 3rd, okay, cool. You get Caleb Williams, you get Drake May, you get the dude who just won the Heisman. Like whatever you want to do. Like, people are just acting like this win, or like if the Patriots win another game, it's like, oh my God, they're not going to get there. As long as you're in that top 3, I mean, maybe 4, but top 3, I think solidifies you. You're going to get one of these big pieces to build on from, but I don't know. How do you guys feel about all that?
I'm in the same boat as you. You need to finish. I think 3 is the absolute lowest that you can get, because once you're at 4, you don't know what's going to be out there. For all you know, Harrison Jr., May, and Williams are all gone. Then do you go with the Jaden Daniels route if you're that confident in him? Or does Bill do I shouldn't say always does, or does Bill say, you know what, our line play is horrible. Let's go get Joe Alt from Notre Dame, who just committed the other day to coming to the NFL. So I would rather keep it. If you're at 3, you're going to get MHJ or Caleb May or sorry, Drake May or Caleb Williams.
And I'm
You're going to
cool
get one
with
of
any
those 3 in 3. Right.
Any of them.
See, I can't even speculate because everyone's so up in the air. I saw this report that Marvin Harrison Jr. could make more on an NIL deal than he ever could in his first, as his first entire contract as a rookie. So, dude, why would he come out in the draft? Like, that just doesn't make sense. The whole ploy used to be so I could feed my family and that old wise tale. You don't need that anymore.
Nope.
And Caleb Williams is clearly a diva. He's going to leverage whatever he can. If the Patriots have the first overall pick, he doesn't want to go to the Patriots. He already listed the teams he wants to go to. He also wants a 6% stake in whatever franchise he goes to. He's a fucking headache, and he hasn't even
Reality is
committed
going
to
to
the
hit him
draft yet.
real quick. Reality is going to
he's
smack
fucked.
him in the face.
Yeah, he's in for a rude awakening. I hope he goes to, I don't know who's the shittiest team we could think of that's not the Panthers because they don't need a quarterback. But I just hope he goes to a bad team.
The Bears really aren't that good either. Like, to be honest,
No, the Bears
Justin
wouldn't be
Fields
great,
is
but they got a
really-
quarterback too.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like, I can't even speculate because no one's committing. So it's like, even if we got the second overall pick, if there's no Caleb Williams, Marvin Harrison, Drake May is definitely in there, you said, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess that would be the compensation prize, but who's to say he doesn't go 1? And then fuck, we're just left with people who were originally going to be the 7th overall pick, and they get picked as top 4 because everyone else opted out and there's no desirable people anymore. Yeah, we could get the lineman from Notre Dame. Not a sexy pick. Probably would be great, but I can see it now. A mass suicide across New England when Bill Belichick picks a fucking tackle with the second overall.
Civil war is what would happen.
Dude, the memes, I can see them already. The criticism, I can hear sports radio in my ears. So I don't even want to speculate because it just sounds like such a shit show already.
Well, I think I think as we get closer to the draft, it'll kind of clear out who's available. But I think we can all just agree.
When's the deadline for fucking committing? Does anyone know?
I have no idea.
My guess would be February because of combines and whatnot.
Yeah, probably Yeah, probably right around there. So that's probably when we'll know more. But at the end of the day, this win doesn't change, especially with how the weekend played out. This win isn't going to change if you get, a second or third pick. Now, if you keep winning games, then we'll talk about it. But I just don't see it. Yeah, they go on a 4-0
get eliminated from the playoffs and then start winning every single game. I'd kill myself.
Yeah, that'd be horrible.
If no one if none of these top studs commit, oh my god, it sounds terrible. But dude, trade the pick, get a ton of picks. Yeah, trade back.
Yeah, I don't know, trade
I
back and just
said that
fucking build around Bailey Zappi. Yeah. I don't know, dude.
Oh my god!
Jesus
or
I don't even. It's a nightmare. I don't want to. I don't want to.
It's so bad. There's a million different scenarios.
Actually, I'll just throw this in before we talk about kind of some really the meat and potatoes here of the Belichick saga going on. I just have a trivia question for you guys. Of the current Patriots roster, how many, and just answer just the one question first. How many players do you think are getting Pro Bowl votes? Oh, Jesus.
If I had to guess.
Yeah. How many players?
I would say 0, but okay. I know that's not true.
Al, how many would you say? How many Patriots players are slotted to get into the Pro Bowl right now as we speak?
Liam, you know what I hate about Mike?
What?
He's terrible about hiding his favoritism toward other players.
Yeah. 100%. I honestly, I'm clueless. I'm wondering where this is going. I cannot see around this corner.
Gee, I can't either.
Bryce
So there's
fucking
one,
Behringer, the
there's
number one vote getter for punters, rookie, all pro, all world, all universe, all your mother's ass punter, Bryce Behringer. Guys, word of advice, word from the wise, not even word to the wise, word from the wise. Get on the BB train, because guess what? We're taking off without you, okay? We're taking off without you. You know Zoltan Mesko, we're going to be better than him. Bailey, better than him. Who else you got? Ken Walter, better than him. Who else you got down there as punters? Name them.
Brian
better.
Norman.
Better. Pat McAfee, better. I don't give a shit.
Pro Bowl Jake Bailey.
Better. Bryce Behringer is the guy, the doofy looking doof with the glasses, number fucking 37. No, is he number 17?
Looking doof. What a
Dude, let me
what a
tell you,
wordplay by
Bryce
you, Mike.
Behringer is going to show up to the Pro Bowl and punt the ball out of the goddamn stadium.
No one punts in the Pro Bowl, first of all. Second of all,
they don't even have the game anymore, though, don't they? Isn't it just like a Pro Bowl
weekend?
weekend?
They're going back to the East versus West, or like conferences, I think.
Well, you know who's going to win all the punting games? Bryce Behringer, because he is the best player on this team. And I just want to get that out there. I didn't know if you guys
I do have a follow-up question.
Of course.
So he's the number one vote getter for punters in the conference.
Yep.
Who's the competition? Offhand, who are the other good punters in the league?
Doesn't matter. That's how good he is.
I know it doesn't. Yes.
That's how good he is. You can't even think of other people. You know, it's one of those things where it's like, who else was on this team? I don't know. All I know is like it's like thinking about Tom Brady. It's like, who else was on that offense? It's just Tom Brady.
League wide. Who are the other good punters in the league right now?
Couldn't tell you if my life depended on it.
Too many to name.
Yeah.
You know what, Liam? If you have to ask, you'll never know. If you have to ask, you'll never know. You just don't get it.
So we got one host that knows all the punters in the league and says that it's chock full of talent. The other one couldn't name a punter if there was a gun.
Compared to Bryce Behringer, they're not even talented. They're just bootlickers. Fuck them.
Who can anyone else? Can anyone name a punter from any other team? Not even a good one.
Tom Tupa.
John.
Tom Tupa. No. From a currently in the league. Can anyone name a punter on any other team? Don't Google anything.
Marquette King.
John Rodrigo.
No, you fucking goober. No.
I don't know.
Although Marquette
King's
doesn't matter.
All I'm saying, someone's got to get voted.
Well, wait a minute. Actually, Jake Bailey, because he's on the Dolphins.
Okay. All right.
Sucks.
So
get out of there.
So besides the former Patriots punter that we lost last year, no one, including me, can name another punter in the league. Is Johnny Hecker still around? I don't think so.
Oh, it doesn't matter, dude. It doesn't fucking matter. You know why? Dude, why? Because it is the new blood of punters. All the old, dusty, rusty fucks are all gone.
I watched the Eagles punter throw a pass Sunday night. I have no idea what his name is.
Yeah. You know why he has to throw a pass? Because he can't fucking punt. Because he's no BB.
But he's got a rocket arm. Probably
he's no B squared. He's no B squared. So just wanted to throw that out there. But check out this segue. Speaking of BB, one BB is coming into our life. There might be one that's leaving it. Bill Belichick, the big report, I'll put it in quotes. Tom E. Curran said, kind of stirred some shit up when he said it, though. I don't even really know where this came from because I really only saw it like a little bit. Like it wasn't really everywhere, but just to pull like the quotes that were tweeted from it. Tommy Curran said, when they came out of the loss in Germany, conversations I had that week made it very clear that a decision was made. That decision being that Belichick's going to be gone. They were going to play out the string. And at the end of the year, there would be a parting of ways for a variety of reasons. Now, no one else has reported anything about that. Anyone who does tweet or anything about it, they always just, call back to Tommy Curran's tweet in little show about it. He was on the Pat McAfee show today. He's already starting to walk it back. He said that, things might change. Things could change from here on
Subject
out.
to change.
And that my other question is, if you knew this weeks ago when the Patriots came out from Germany, one, do you think that not even just Tommy Curran, anybody in the Patriots media would have the self-control to sit on that story? And why drop it now after the Patriots win a game going into the Chiefs week where they're probably going to lose. It's just there's a lot of stink around it. Don't get me wrong. I think that there's definitely going to be a conversation between Belichick and Kraft after the season. Kind of like, listen, dude, we won what 4 games this year. Let's just say, like, we gotta figure some shit out. Like, what's the plan? Are you going to take back some, take a step back from the GM role? Are you just going to be a coach? What's going on? But my view on this is that Tommy Curran, like a lot of the Patriots media members and just media members in general, you have your opinion that you form kind of like fans do. And then you think, okay, well, common sense would tell you that the Patriots lost in Germany before the bye week. When I reached out to people were a little bit upset. Kind of sounds like Bill Belichick might. Let's just throw this out there and see what happens. And then the next day I'll walk it back, or I'll give myself the out and say, think always subject to change, always subject to change. So now if it happens, Tommy Curran looks like his scoop was correct. If it doesn't happen, he says, listen, I told you, it subject to change. So what do you guys think about the entire ordeal?
Mine is complex because there's, like you said, there's a ton of smoke and mirrors around this. There are so many moving parts, so much to dissect, and I thought this conversation was over with after the game I went to, the game we mentioned earlier, the Buffalo Bills game, where after that win, they said Bill Belichick was signed to an undisclosed deal at the beginning of the season. So enough of this firing talk.
Which is funny that they brought that up after a big win.
Yeah.
So but now all of a sudden it came out, and then you bring up that he might lose his job after a win. It's just
Yeah,
all this is weird time.
I hope they don't win another game for the season, because then maybe they'll bring up that the Patriots franchise is relocating to Toronto. It seems like every time the Patriots win, there's some fucking news bomb that's like controversial and ridiculous. I did not hear the Tommy Curran interview on Pat McAfee. I saw the tweet. I saw a bunch of other people saying, finally, and I saw like regular Twitter, X, Discord on it, but most of it is fairly useless. I I think you made a good point, Mike, when you said Tom Curran has his own biases and whatnot. And I think I didn't even think about it until you said it. There might be some merit to that, where it's I don't know if you guys have ever heard of the detective's curse, where it's like they'll see a crime scene, they'll make a theory about the crime scene that makes a lot of sense in their mind, and then they'll bend every clue that they see from there on toward their theory to try and prove them right, even if the clues could take them somewhere else. They bend it to try and prove, oh, I think this happened. So I think he could be doing that. He's probably had this notion in his mind for a while that Belichick's gone, and now he heard like a little giblet, or he's something that made him confident enough to tweet this.
Giblet.
Giblet.
I love that one.
But yeah, but the
Giblet.
whole thing just seems so strange to me. The timing, everything else. I don't know what to make of it. You can't fire Bill Belichick. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I will try not to make my rant as long as it has been, because we've had this conversation a bunch of other times before. You can't let him go. If he retires, he retires. So be it. He's old. I get it. But everyone seems so willing to just hard reset and go in with like a completely new team next year. And I get it, get a new team. But why would you get rid of the last remaining piece of the greatest dynasty in all of sports history? If
Mhm.
you have any bit of that on your team, hold on to it. If Devin McCourty was still playing and said, I want to play for another couple of years, I don't think we'd cut Devin McCourty after the season just because we lost 3 games. This is why there's so much fucking divorce in this country, because people are just so willing to jump ship and go to something else and go to something new. And it's
Mhm.
just the grass isn't always greener on the other side. Are we going to go find somebody that won 9 Super Bowls instead of 8? No. It's impossible. There's no one else out there with a resume like that. The next best coach is Andy Reid. He can't even sniff Bill Belichick's stool, at least in my eyes, and I would hope in most people's eyes. I don't know why people are so quick to just, oh, this whole season was so bad. I just want to forget about it all and push it all out of the way. The Spurs have been terrible for the last 5 years. They didn't fire Greg Popovich. He's got a lifetime contract with them. He's the last part of a great dynasty. Why would you get rid of him? So it's all just so blasphemous to me where they're ungrateful. We had 4 fucking bad years, not even bad, one of which we made the playoffs. Yeah, we got smoked. We made the fucking playoffs. A 7-9 season. It's a failure in Patriots' eyes, but that's a win in just about everyone else's eyes. You don't think the Chargers would love to finish this season 7
Dude,
and
the
9?
Steelers have been mediocre for what? 6 years now, it feels like.
They always make the playoffs, though. They always end with
But
positive
they're
records.
like that. They're like that consistent, just like meh team. But like you never hear Mike Tomlin being on the hot seat,
No,
like at
never.
all, even a little
But
bit.
that's their culture. They've had 3 coaches since
True.
the Prohibition era. Like
Yeah.
they're never gonna fire a coach.
Yeah.
But with Patriots fans, it's just so crass. You really see the culture of New England through our fandom of football because we're gritty, hard nosed, angry. You pissed me off once, get the fuck out of my face. I don't ever want to see you again. I'll curb stomp you. Just don't talk to me. And you see that through our sports. It's like I don't care how much Bill Belichick gave me. The product on the field this year isn't good. I don't want to see it anymore. Last year was underwhelming. And the year before that, we only made the wild card. I can't believe it. It's fucking sickening to me that people would just be so willing to jump ship like this. So it drives me up a wall. I don't put much merit to these reports, especially when there was the signing of the lucrative preseason deal that no one knows the details of.
The
There's conflicting
multi-year
reports.
that started at 1, then it turned into 3 years, and it was multi-year. So I don't. It's just no. I don't think anyone knows anything.
Unless he's saying Bill Belichick is contemplating retirement. Then possibly. He's fucking old. He just went through a breakup. He's probably thinking about his life more than he's thinking about football. And that's fine. I get it. The dude's fucking chilling. He has a house down the road from me. It's a palace. He's got 2 houses in Nantucket, and his boat was docked at the place I was in Florida last week. His 8 rings or whatever, however many he has, the name of his boat. I saw it. It was at the dock in
awesome.
Jupiter. Yeah, like the dude's living. He's big balling, dude. If I had all that stuff, of course I'd want to retire, walk off into the sunset. But I'm not Bill Belichick. He is a far smarter, far stronger, far better man than me. And I don't think he wants to fucking go out on a 4-win season.
No.
Dude eats, sleeps, breathes, shits, and snorts greatness. And we are just trying to push him out the door before he can give us more. It's so ludicrous.
Al,
Okay, where do I begin?
go ahead. Go ahead.
after
I can
that,
already see it.
Al's on the
That
chopping
you-
block.
That you put probably just because I think that this is just how, which is why it's so important and it's so great to have you here to have like the third mic with everything because Liam and I tend to see similar on a fair amount of things, but I feel like you might see this from a different angle or might have a different opinion than we do. So
I do.
tell me if I'm right. I thought so.
No, I
You
do.
hate Belichick just like you hated Mac Jones.
Exactly. You know
and
me
Jacoby
too well.
Myers.
See, that one I still don't understand, but whatever.
I
Anyways,
actually hate Jacoby Myers. I don't know. Al got all the blame for me hating him.
yeah, I know that's
Thanks
Not
for being my
surprising.
scapegoat.
yeah, it's not the first time that's happened. Anyways, so Bill Belichick. Okay. You can't deny what Bill Belichick has brought to this Patriots organization. You really can't.
No, you can't.
A tradition of winning, a tradition of excellence, the Patriot way.
Damn right.
He brought that. Along with Tom Brady, those two
He
were the
is that, yep.
pillars. They were the pillars
Mhm.
of the success.
Tom Brady rode his coattails, but yeah, that's fine.
Where I have trouble staying with Liam's argument is when he's saying, oh, people are in an uproar about the last 4 seasons. Yes, people are in an uproar. And here's why. It's not like the Patriots every season are finishing, they're still like not consistently 9-8, 10-7, whatever.
Yeah.
Because I think if the last 5 years, the Patriots were in that realm of mediocrity, then fine. Then yes, he still is coaching. And I'm not saying he's not coaching now, but he still is producing a decent product on the field from the coach's perspective. The last 4 seasons, you went 7-9 in the Cam Newton year. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think they had to win their last 2 games just to get to 7-9, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
So they were 5-9 at that time.
Cam
Before
Newton
those
got a
2
touchdown
wins.
pass in his last game. No
He
big
did.
deal.
He did against the Jets. I remember that.
That
Then the
dude.
2021 year happens. They go on that 8-game winning streak. They make the playoffs. They get bounced in the wild card. Nobody was
2
calling
successful
for
seasons.
Nobody was calling for Belichick then because obviously it looked like, okay, pieces were in place.
Mhm.
But then 2022, with the non-hiring of an actual offensive coordinator and having Matt Patricia and Joe Judge share the duties, that's where people are like, okay, you can trust Belichick, I guess, but is this really going to work in this day of age of the NFL? And obviously, it wasn't like an F, but it was probably at best a C-.
At best, yeah.
At best.
Yep.
And they go 8-9, 1 game away from a playoff spot, shockingly. And then you come into this year, this 2023 season. We all had high hopes for this team. We did. We had high hopes for the defense. It could be one of the best in the NFL. We were talking about one of the best that we've seen in quite a while. We were excited about we were hoping for the transition for Mac Jones to be the guy and be like, you know what? Year 2 was a fluke. And he really is the year 1 guy. And then Bill O'Brien comes back. They have an actual OC. They go out and they make some signings. You know, they get Gesicki. They get Juju. They get all this other stuff, right?
Don't remind me.
But it just doesn't work.
Yep.
The reason that I think that people are tired of Belichick is because a couple of reasons. First of all, I think the lack of personality that Belichick has, and I know it sounds weird to say, but in his press conferences, when he acts like a dick to the media, it's funny when you're winning because it's like, oh, ha, 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 like, you know, you're winning all these Super Bowls, you can do that. But when the reporters are trying to ask questions, and some of them are stupid, like I admit, some of the questions they ask are really stupid.
70% of them are just terrible.
But like a Mike Reese, right? Who, Mike, I know you like Mike Reese, and you have respect for Mike Reese. Like Mike Reese is
favorability there.
Fair. Mike Reese asks good questions in an honest way to do his job, and Belichick's not giving him anything. And I'm not saying you have to go into the soliloquy of an answer. Just give a little substance.
What did Belichick give?
Hold on.
Mike Reese anything when he said we're on to Cincinnati?
Hold on. And that wasn't Mike Reese.
I know, I'm just saying. I'm sure he was there asking questions. He answered 100 fucking questions with the same thing.
Potentially. But I think with the way that it is right now, I'm on the Dave Portnoy track because Portnoy made a video about this and he said it perfectly, I think. If Belichick goes, fine. Get in a breath of fresh air, get in someone new, get in a new mentality, younger mindset, whatever. Great. But if he stays, okay, fine. But I agree with what you guys were saying earlier. Take away the GM powers. Do not let him if he's making the decisions, do not let him make the decisions for the drafting. Let someone else handle that. He worries about the coaching because at this point in his career, he has earned the right to finish it out if the Patriots agree. But if they bring in a new voice like a Gerard Mayo or a Ben Johnson or Bill O'Brien or Eric Bieniemy or whoever, I think people would welcome the fact that, okay, we tried last year with the offensive coordinator. That didn't work. Obviously, the head coach, it's just, he's been around forever. It's starting to get worse and worse year per year. And now we need to make some sort of change with that as well. So again, I know I'm going off and I'm babbling, but to wrap it all up, if Belichick is let go at the end of the year, it is what it is. But if he stays, there better be some sort of improvement. Because if it continues like this next year, and you guys continue to say that he deserves to still be here, if it continues this path, then some harder conversations will need to be had. Okay,
so let's me just feed off of what you said here. So we'll take the last 2 years, for example, because I consider the Cam Newton year and the playoff year a success.
Dude, it was the COVID year, bro. There were
Yeah,
people
so
dropping
I'll
out of
consider
games.
those
So like,
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
It
so
was
I
tough.
consider
Yeah, it was
those two
tough.
a success. We will say those first two, we won't even include that. We will include last season and this season. Yes, obviously, this season was a flaming pile of shit, a gigantic disaster. And last year, you can point at the mistakes, the Matt Patricia thing. It didn't work. Yeah, but it's Bill Belichick. There's a lot of trial and error. He could have hired an orangutan to be our offensive coordinator last year, and no one can fucking question it because Bill knows more than everyone else, and he's proven it. It's undoubtable. The 6 Super Bowls, never ever being eliminated from the playoffs, all that stuff. Yes, you can't live in the past. But also, are we going to throw out countless, unprecedented, disgusting amounts of success that led to everyone else in the nation outside of New England hating us for good reason? Are we going to throw all that out because he tried something and didn't work? And then this year, the personnel didn't pan out, and what he tried also didn't work. I wouldn't even take away his GMing duties. You cannot. It's because then he's just going to retire or want to leave. Like it's disrespectful to say, "Hey, Bill."
So you want to hold on. So what you're saying is because Belichick is part of the past, which was successful.
Yeah.
If the track continues the way it is, you're just supposed to hold on to him because of the past.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying it's a roller coaster. There's going to be some ups and downs. Who's to say that it's going to keep being shitty? Like, I can't imagine we're going to win 4 games next year and 4 games the year after that. It seems wildly unlikely to me. Like, think about the terrible teams that have existed in the last 10 years. When they win 4 games, the next year they usually win 7. They usually get better. There's rarely a team like the Browns and the Lions who just consistently shit for years and years and years. And that's just ineptitude all through the organization. We know the Patriots aren't that inept of an organization. So because he had 2 bad years, and last year wasn't even that terrible. We had a quarterback injury, and if we had won, what was it? If we had won the last 2 games, we would have made the playoffs by the skin of our teeth. And I think we also needed somebody else to lose. And yeah, it wasn't a great situation, but we almost technically kind of sort of in a way made the playoffs. It was a failure of a season, but it wasn't a disaster. This one was a disaster.
Mhm.
Just because there's such a bad taste in everyone's mouth from this season, who's to say next season is going to be shitty or that Belichick's going to keep fucking this up? He has 20 years of unprecedented success, and we're going to completely judge him off. I originally said 4. We'll cut it down to the last 2. 2 bad years, one of which was, it wasn't atrocious. This year was atrocious. And we're just gonna say, oh well, Belichick clearly doesn't know what he's doing. He's not gonna know what he's doing next year. He won't know what he's doing the year after that. I can't stand being a fan of a franchise that's only gonna win 2 games for the next decade. That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. How do you think Belichick's gonna keep screwing that up? It's almost you have to try to screw that up. And if you're a genius like Belichick, I have the utmost faith in him. If they only win 4 games next year, I'd bet my life on it. I'd bet my firstborn child that the Patriots are going to win more than 4 games next year because Belichick's a fucking genius, and he'll figure it out.
I hope you're right. I really do. But I'm going to give you.
Wait,
I'm going to give.
why do you hope and not know?
Because this team is not good. Do you understand how bad this team is? Do you understand how bad this team is? Do you understand
trust me, I
how
know they
bad this
signed
football
Juju
team
and
is?
Zeke. The season
Yeah,
was
exactly.
ruined. Yeah.
So if you're saying if they don't improve the talent, it doesn't matter who you have as a coach. And I understand your point. I do understand what you're saying. But I want to give you an example outside of football for a second because it does relate. And
Please.
Mike might know where I'm going with this. Terry Francona. All right. Terry Francona was the manager of the Boston Red Sox from 2004 until 2012. Not as long as Belichick, but still good amount of time.
Yep.
In his first year, Liam, do you know what he did with the Red Sox?
No.
Took him to the World Series and won the World Series. Reversed the curse, 86 years. He won another World Series 3 years later. So he won 2 titles in 4 years and continuously brought the Red Sox to the playoffs even after that. Was highly respected. 2010 comes along. They don't have a great year. 2011 comes along. It's worse. And there's a lot of problems in the locker room. Mike, you know what I'm talking about? The chicken and beer thing. If you remember that, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He lost the locker room at that point. Yeah.
He did.
He had lost it. Yeah.
And I'm not saying Belichick's lost the locker room, like Francona kind of did. But my point is this: the Red Sox knew that there needed to be a change. And so they got rid of someone who had a lot of success, brought multiple championships to a city that needed it, and brought structure for a while to a city that needed it. But then they knew when it was time to let him go.
Yeah.
Now with Belichick, he has a little bit longer of a leash. I get that.
A little.
Here's my question to you. How long is the leash?
I mean, so you said he had an 8-year period of success with 2 championships. So
Yes.
if he got a 2-year leash, this is obviously different sports. There's no actual
Yeah, of
math,
course.
but
Of
just
course.
for the sake of argument, 8 years, 2 of those were a failure, gone. So Belichick had 20 years. So that'll be, 8 times 2. So then friggin' I'd give him
We'll
4
say
to
4.
6, 4 to
Yeah,
6 years
right.
of failure.
That's asking a lot. If it's this
I'm
bad,
just doing the
no,
simple,
I got you. I
almost
got you. I got you.
illogical math.
I
But
got you.
So
okay, hold on. I have a follow-up. So when did the Red Sox, I know they won again after 2012, fairly recently,
They
2018?
won
17.
after
Right.
2000, after they let go of Francona in 11. They had one bad year of a terrible manager, Bobby Valentine, for 2012. Then they won it in 2013. Didn't go in 14 and 15. Went to the playoffs in 16, 17, then won it again in 18 with Alex Cora. So they had a lot of winning.
Yes. So with Bill Belichick, if you were to get rid of him, or who's the better option? The grass isn't always greener on the other side. The evil
The
is
devil is better than
than
the
the
one.
devil you don't know.
Yeah.
Like, who else are we gonna bring in that has the experience to lead this team?
It doesn't, what I'm going to say is it doesn't matter about the grass is always greener. How are you never going to know if you don't take a shot? Like we were saying the same thing about Tom Brady. Tom Brady was getting older, and it's like at some point he's going to leave. At some point it's going to be over. And sure enough, he left.
Mm-hmm.
And we haven't been able to find a quarterback like that since. We took one in the draft in Mac Jones. Guess what? You may have missed on the quarterback, but you still had to take the chance. More often than not, you need to take a chance to find a new coach, new quarterback, whatever it is. Look at the Lions.
Exactly. So before I lose my train of thought there. So Al, so you say, and this isn't even to like dispute. This is just like, there's no, I don't think
it's good. It's good.
There's any like, but it's like, okay, so you said that the Patriots, they took a quarterback, right? It was Mac Jones. He didn't pan out. Let me ask you a question. And this is kind of just building my point. So let me just ask this real quick. To win in this league, you need a quarterback, right? You need a top quarterback. You want to say top 5, top 8. You need that to win in this league, correct?
Yep.
Okay. So they took the chance.
Yeah.
Like you said, in order to do that, like you're talking about getting a new coach, in order to do these things, you need to take the chances, right? Belichick took the chance, got Mac Jones. First year, went to the playoffs. Second year, Matt Patricia, not great. Third year, and Mac Jones was also injured that year. So this year, you finally got to see what it was. And guess what? What are we all saying right now? Mac Jones is not the guy. So are we going to get rid of Belichick for doing what we wanted him to do, what we all thought was a good idea, and the quarterback just didn't pan out? I'm not even talking about the rest of the groceries, because you can say he could have got DeAndre Hopkins over whoever. He should have done X, Y, or Z. None of that matters if you don't have a quarterback. The Patriots do not have a quarterback right now. And I just don't think that it's right to fire a coach who the first year there was success, the second year injury, still not making excuses, still not a great year, 8 and 9. That's not up to Patriot standards. And then this year, sure, there's some injuries, but I think this year was that crucial third year, and you're seeing that Mac Jones is not the guy. How many times in the league do we see? We saw it earlier this year with Josh Allen. Josh Allen was playing like shit. Their offensive coordinator, they got rid of him, and the Bills are still kind of mediocre right now. I know that they're playing well, they're winning games, but the Bills are not Bills level. I don't think that the play or the failure of a player should dictate the coach leaving. Now, do not get me wrong. Belichick and Kraft need to sit in a room and lock the goddamn door until they figure out what they're doing from here on out. I don't care if he loses managerial fucking status, if there's more people involved. I don't care. I don't want to be one of those teams. And by the way, we're talking about how there's been a different offensive coordinator every 3 years, right? So now you finally get an offensive coordinator that we think is going to stay, even though this year's been kind of wishy-washy. But I think we can see Bill O'Brien. We see the vision. I think if we keep him here for a while, he'll be good. So why are we going to now get rid of the coach? So now we have an offensive coordinator who's in his second year. Who knows how that, even if that coach is Gerard Mayo, who knows how that coach is going to want the offense ran. So now Bill O'Brien's going to have to tweak more things. Then you're going to have a new quarterback. So you're just going to have all these new things. This is what loser teams do. This is what the Giants do. This is what this is what
the Giants fired Tom Coughlin. What happened after they fired Tom Coughlin?
Yeah, you can't.
Nothing.
You can't just make that decision where it's like, oh, if something doesn't pan out in 2 years, we gotta blow everything up. And I get it's frustrating. It sucks, but like you need to let God, and I hate to bring up their thing, but you need to trust the process. You need to sit there and like, again, the process might not work right now. The process with Mac Jones did not work, but I do not think that this
you can't fault the guy for trying. Like he tried. He took, to use your baseball analogy, he took a couple at bats. He missed. He'll pick himself up, dust himself off. He'll take a couple more.
He swung and he nailed it, but then at the last second, it was a foul ball. It wasn't a home run. Now, do not if and Al, going to what you said, because I differ from Liam a little bit on this. If the Patriots have a year like this next year, Belichick's gone. I will not.
Thank you.
To me, it is like Matt Jones, where I'm looking at that. And now, granted, I don't want him gone, but like I will. And of course, it depends on how they are, like things like that. But like, if the Patriots have a 5-win year next year, I get it. You gotta. Maybe the philosophy needs to change. But like you said, though, Liam, because I agree with you on this point, I don't see that happening. But like, I just think that why not give this coaching staff one more year with a quarterback who can actually play. And again, you never know because the draft is a crapshoot, but let's just have that risk one more time. Let's see what it looks like. Because guess what? If you have a new coaching here, what's the difference in wins? If you have, let's just say Patriots draft Drake May. Let's just say they get him. What's the difference in wins if you have Belichick coaching the team or Gerard Mayo? One or two, maybe. Like, so why not just have Belichick here? And assuming that, say they get Drake May, whatever, it starts to work out, Belichick coaches out his contract, and then Mayo steps in the next year or two. And then you have another 10, 12, 15 years of dominance. I don't see how getting rid of Belichick is the right decision. And I will say one thing, because Liam, I know that you want to talk as well. If the Patriots and Robert Kraft move on from Bill Belichick this offseason, this will be the first step for me to become like the Commanders fans, where they hate their ownership for me.
Yeah.
Because I
100%.
will not agree with that. This will be Kraft trying to appease the fans like he always does. And we've always been fine with it because, Al, like you said about Belichick, the Patriots have been winning. But when you try to appease a fan base, when the fans, let's be honest, we don't know what's best for the team.
No.
Honestly, no one does, but there's people who know more than we do. If Kraft gets rid of Belichick, this is strictly going to be he licked his finger, put it to the wind, and felt which way it was blowing. That's what it is, because Kraft wants to be liked. Kraft wants to be the good guy. He's the good guy. Belichick was the bad guy. Brady was the bridge. Brady left, so Kraft was like, I'm going to stick with Belichick. You're going to get me some wins. And Kraft cannot handle the outcry from the fan base and the media right now. So if he gets rid of Kraft, or if he gets rid of Belichick, that's going to be a very interesting episode the next week.
Yeah, I don't really have a whole lot more to say on the subject other than the fans are, of course I'm a fan and I am not excluding myself from this. The fans are a bunch of whiny bitches.
We're stupid.
If you don't like the product on the field, you're going to piss and moan and fucking complain about it. We heard it all. Mac Jones is the problem. Mac Jones is this. Mac Jones is that. Get him the fuck out of here. Bailey Zappi comes in. Bailey Zappi sucks. Yes, he had one good game. Let's see how he does as he keeps going. And I bet they'll want Bailey Zappi dead by the end of the season too. And we want change. We want something different, but we don't fucking know shit. And especially hard-nosed, fucking arrogant Boston fans who have known nothing but winning. Like, my generation were 3 years old when Tom Brady took over as the Patriots quarterback. The only thing I've ever fucking known is winning. So,
We're
yeah,
stubborn. We are very stubborn
it'd
people.
be
I
so
compare us to
easy.
I don't know if you guys were Game of Thrones people, but like the people who lived
I
in
have
the
sex.
north, like Winterfell, all them, like the Starks, everything. That is how New Englanders are. We are stubborn. We're fucking mean. We're miserable. We're always cold,
Yeah,
but we have pride in our
yeah,
house, in our teams.
absolutely.
But
And we'll
sometimes
die
though,
for
we
our
act
team.
headstrong and we're stupid.
Yeah. We're mindless cogs in the machine. We are the
Yes.
grunt army. It's like we're not strategizing anything. We're just gonna go out and fight the battles.
Yeah.
And we
Yeah.
fight
Just
the
who tell
fucking
me
battles
where and
tough.
we'll go. Yeah. No,
Yeah,
we're not smart. We
exactly.
shouldn't be.
We are mindless.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know. The whole thing's fucking ridiculous. I'll wrap it up with the Greg Popovich point where they've been rebuilding for 5 years. So all these rookies who are coming in are like, get the same spiel. You are being coached by the greatest head coach ever who has had unprecedented success. He will tell you secrets to the game that no other coach could ever tell you. Enjoy him while you have him because he's going to retire in the relatively near
Mhm.
future. And he is shepherding you in your career, whether you're a Spur forever, or whether you're a Patriot forever, whether you go on to another team, you are about to be coached by greatness. So
Yep.
fucking eat that shit up. He is your segue into being successful. And there's no sign of Greg Popovich leaving the Spurs because he is going the team has been rebuilding for years. There is no title within the next 5 years in the Spurs vision. Greg Popovich is there for as long as he wants it. They're actually the worst team in the league right now. There's not a single Greg Popovich firing rumor. And they just had the first overall pick. You know why? Because they fucking appreciate greatness. San Antonio was a expansion franchise, and then they got Greg Popovich, and now they're the best. Like they're
Crazy.
how this franchise should be. They're grateful for what he's done. We're ungrateful, and it's so strange.
Yeah, I think it's just kind of to wrap it all up. I think it's just there's definitely an uneasiness with the fans, and the media doesn't help that because it is your job as the media to start conversations, to stir the pot a little bit. And when they hit a nerve with Patriots fans, especially because we are so passionate, we're gonna sit there and be like, yeah, you know what? You're right. Belichick should be gone. Yeah, you know what? You're right. Malik Cunningham should start. Like, yeah, you know what?
Yeah.
You're right. Like all this. And it's like, listen, I beg you guys to just sit back. I just think we are a year too soon. That's all. If we were having this conversation next season and this was coming off this year and the Patriots had 4 or 5 wins right now, then I'd entertain it a little bit more. But
Yeah.
as for right now, I think we're a little too soon.
Yeah, we're fired up. We're in the midst
those
of the
are-
house burning down. No one
Yeah,
makes
it
good
sucks.
decisions
It
right
sucks.
after a tragedy.
No one's happy when you're renovating the house. You got to sleep in a
Yeah.
hotel. You got to do
Yeah.
all this shit. But guess what? When you come back to the house and see what it looks like, if the ceiling starts caving in, the fucking wallpaper starts coming off, and there's cockroaches, then we'll have the conversation. Then we'll move out. But that's all I had. Al, did you have any final thoughts about this whole thing?
I mean, look, we'll find out more in the next month or so. I mean, right now it's all hearsay. It's all he said, she said, he said, she said. So
That's what she said.
exactly. So at this point, finish out the year and then we'll see what happens right after the year is over. I'm not putting any more stock into this.
Yeah, it's kind of like, let's just go.
Damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Before
Definitely
we
damned
go,
if you lose Belichick.
the Patriots are playing the Chiefs this weekend. A day before my birthday, guys. What do you guys think is going to happen?
27-13 Chiefs.
Yeah. Come on, at least put on a good game in front of Taylor Swift. Do you guys think she's going to be there for the game? Do you think she's going to fucking make the trek to cold ass fucking New England?
No. Probably
Yeah,
not.
because she'll be in a suite. She'll be in a comfortable suite.
I kind of hope she does. I'm all in, and it sucks because it makes me hate Travis Kelce less. But like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's just have our. Guys, let's just have fun. Show Taylor Swift a bunch.
I'm expecting a 19-13 Patriots victory.
Okay. Well, you're living in La La Land. I do. So
Bill
are
always
we,
beats the Chiefs, baby.
so are we planning on recording on Sunday? This Sunday?
Might
Is
as
that
well.
the, is that the
Up in
thing?
the air.
Okay.
Yeah. We probably could.
Okay.
Maybe we'll figure it out.
All right. So yeah, so be on the lookout. It might be new Tuck Rule takes might be coming out Monday. But either way, we will be reporting, talking about the Chiefs and whatever comes out of that. And yeah, we'll go from there. So any parting words, any final things you guys wanted to touch on before we leave?
Path to number 2 remains.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. And I think give Belichick a chance. Give him next year. I think he's earned that.
Billy B, I trust next year, the year after that.
I go
the
into
year after that.
this.
I want
go into
my
it how
kids
we are with.
to be watching Belichick on Sunday.
I go into next
he's
year
not
how we
going
went into
anywhere
this
in
year
my
with
mind.
Mac Jones with him. Where listen, we got to see how it is. Things go poorly. Maybe it's time to move on.
He could win -2 games next year. He's my head coach. They
All
fire
right.
him. They fire him. I might never watch a Patriots game again.
Yeah, I don't hate it. I don't hate it. All right. This was Tuck Rule Takes episode 112. Go Pats. Enjoy watching Taylor Swift watch the Patriots and Chiefs game this weekend. We'll see you guys next week. We're out.
We out.